Hello friends! In today's video I want to talk you through how to make decoupage candles. So this is a little candle that I decoupaged last night, and I just wanted to talk you through a few details of how to make these and just tell you about the few ways that you can do these. So I actually used my iron to iron on a napkin. So the reason why I'm making this video is because I've actually had a few people ask about this candle that you can sometimes see in the background of my videos, and this is a candle that I made about a year ago or so when I first discovered decoupage candles. It's not the best but I mean, when it sits in the distance there, it's fine. So I just went and I bought some of these candles. So this is what it looked like before I decoupaged it. It's just a normal cheap candle. So just to give you a little close-up, this is what it looks like. So this bit here is actually me not measuring it correctly and I was a little bit short on the napkin, but I decided to go ahead and do it anyways. And these little bits here is just liquid pearls that you can see. I used acrylic paint to mask the edges. I don't know if you can see very well, but with candle decoupage, I find the hardest part is to actually get the finish to be nice and smooth. I've seen a few videos, again on YouTube, where people have different tips and tricks on how to get the surface nice and smooth, but they haven't really worked for me. So this is like the best that I am able to get, which is why I ended up putting acrylic paint all around the edges and also splattered the paint around because I think it just kind of masks it a little bit. So in terms of the ways that you can decoupage candles, there are several different ways. So on this one I used my iron, which isn't the best tool to use really. So the result that it gives, I found it's the best result that I'm able to get. However, if I had one of them little craft irons, I think it would be a lot easier, because of course a normal iron is quite big and bulky, and it's not very easy to use. But some people also use heat guns. Again, maybe if you have a better heat gun than what I have and you have different settings on it, it might be a bit easier for you to control it, but I personally found that it's really hard to control it. I find that if I leave it on for even a second longer than what I should, the wax just melts away and it doesn't work really well. You can also use a heated spoon, so heat a spoon over one of them little tea light candles, and then with the reverse side you kind of iron on the napkin onto the candle. That is a very simple and easy way to do it, but the finish I find is very uneven, and as soon as you look at it a bit close it doesn't look as nice. And then some people also just use glue and glue napkins onto the candles, so they don't actually seal it in wax, they don't make it a part of the candle, they just glue it on. So standard decoupage in essence. So the way that all of these heat methods work is that you take your napkin, again you're just working with the top layer of the napkin, so separate it, and you put your napkin on. If you're using an iron or a heat gun, you will need some baking paper. You put baking paper over it, napkin on, baking paper, and then your iron or your heat gun, and you heat it all up, and as it heats up the wax melts and it kind of seeps through the napkin, sealing the napkin inside of the candle. It is a very fun thing to do. I personally wouldn't make these to sell, for example. However, I find that this is a very simple and fun craft to do. It is something that I think would be a great idea to do with like older children. I think that when I was a kid I would have definitely enjoyed even just the spoon method, which is probably going to be the safest method for children. And even though you might not get the perfect pretty finish, it's still such an easy and simple craft to do, and you get a really nice candle at the end of it. So in terms of actually using it as a candle, you definitely can use these as candles and burn them. Would I recommend it to other people? Would I sell these as candles that are usable? No. It is one of those things where it's you have to do it at your own risk. So I've personally burned a few of these, and as you can see with these pillar candles, they kind of burn from the inside, so you have a pretty thick wall there, so your napkin is quite safe. However, I did have it happen before where as the candle burnt through, as it sort of got to the middle point, it wasn't very even, so there was a hole that burnt through in the wall, and as it got to the napkin, the napkin itself actually caught on fire. And luckily it happened like right in front of me, so I was there to stop it. However, yeah, so from my experience, you can burn these, and when you first start, depending on how thick the walls are, you should be okay. However, I would only recommend doing it under strict supervision. Also, if you was to sell these, I would personally recommend selling them as decorative candles only, which is one of the main reasons why I don't make these to sell. It's because I personally don't see the point of having a candle that is just going to sit there. I know that a lot of people like to have just decorative candles, but it's not my kind of thing. I don't like candles that just sit there. I like to burn my candles, so it doesn't make sense for me personally to make them and sell them as decorative candles, because I don't know, it's just not authentic. If you was to glue it on, I definitely wouldn't advise burning them, because obviously glue and different varnishes and solvents that you use, you don't know how they're going to react. In terms of like acrylic paint and these liquid pearls, I've burnt those before and it's fine. They make a little crackle when they burn, but it's not like a safety issue. I haven't experienced any like toxic smells or anything like that. Once again, it's probably not the best thing to do, but I still do it anyways. It's one of those things. Do it at your own risk. But anyway, so I'm just gonna quickly talk you through how I actually made them. So I took my candle and I measured out how much napkin I'm gonna need to wrap the napkin around my candle, which still didn't really work out, but never mind. That was the plan. That's what I was trying to do. So once you've got that measured off, I took an old towel and I placed it on my desk, and it stops the candle from rolling around when you're working with it. Then I take a bit of baking paper, also known as parchment paper for those of you in the US, and I take my iron. I use the lowest heat setting that I have on my iron, and I start ironing it on through parchment paper. It is a bit of a fiddly process, so you might have to come back and re-iron some bits and so on, and make sure that every now and then you take that baking paper off and just have a look at how you're doing and see what's happening. I do find that if I iron a little bit, and then while the wax is still hot, I use my finger through baking paper to kind of smooth the edges out. It turns out a little bit nicer. I did end up using the tea light and the spoon method to do the edges of the candle, just to smooth them out a little bit, because this candle is quite small and the iron is really big, so it wasn't very comfortable. So I ended up using the spoon, and hopefully you'll be able to see in the video. I did try and see if I went over the main parts with the spoon, how it's going to look, and hopefully in the clips that I filmed you'll be able to see how uneven it is. So after I tried it a little bit, I went back and I ironed it over just to smooth it all out a little bit more. Then I was happy that everything was sealed and everything looked quite even. I took a little bit of chalk paint, that's it was chalk paint, not acrylic paint, forgot about that. So I took a little bit of my chalk paint and the sponge dabber, and I dabbed the paint onto the edges just to mask the edges a little bit so that they weren't standing out so much. And then I took my natural bristle brush and I splattered a bit of paint all over the candle, and I find that it helps with masking the unevenness a little bit. And once the paint was dry, I took my liquid pearls and went to town on that candle. I just love liquid pearls. There's something about them. I just can't stop. I just can't stop using them. I just love them too much. But yeah, so this is what I did. Of course, if you're just going to use these candles as decorations, you can add all sorts of things to them. Little rhinestones, bows, ribbons, anything you like. But of course, ribbons are a bit of a safety issue if you're planning to burn that candle. So I left it as that. And yeah, so that is it. I hope that you found this video helpful. I hope that it gave you a little bit of insight. Honestly, not the best at candle decoupage. It's something that I did try out for a little bit, and I tried to make it work for myself, but I just can't get the finish to be even enough to where I'm actually happy with it. However, like I said, it is a very, very fun craft to do every now and then, and I hope that when my son is older we can maybe do that at Christmas and make some candles as presents for friends and family and stuff. That's all I wanted to say today. So anyways, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel if you would like to see more. Click on the little bell to get the notifications whenever I post. If you would like to connect with me on any of the other social medias, my links are in the description below. We also hit 10k on this channel the other day. I'm blown away. Just a massive thank you, everybody. I don't even know what to say. I did not expect. I don't know what you guys are doing here on my channel. I'm just making stuff, and I'm just really happy that you guys like it, and thank you so much for all of your lovely comments and for all of your lovely messages, and I appreciate every single one of you that are here watching my videos and just following along, and I love you guys so much, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!